Hi guys, welcome to Pamela's Tarot Tales. I wanted to pop on and do a response to Shona from the Tarot Nerds Facebook group who did a live in that group, and Naya who did her video on YouTube. Check it out, it's pretty awesome. She's got a great collection. And I wanted to talk about my collection of indie decks since we are doing indie decks for the month of June. So we're going to get started. I have the Fountain Tarot. This is the indie version. I know they have a mass market, but I'm going to go through this pretty quick because I think you guys have seen most of these. But this is a great deck. Silver gilding. Really beautiful. I used this for quite a bit when I first got it last year, and I've gotten so many other new decks that it's kind of not been used as much, but I do still use it. I do really enjoy it. It's a beautiful deck. I love the artwork. Like the cardstock. Nice packaging. All right. So the next one, I'm going to try to package these up as I go because I've got a small space and it's a little bit chaotic. So the next one I'm going to do is I'm going to try to do my Rider-Waite-Smith based ones first and then go from there. Is the Dame Darcy. I have mine edged in blue. It was given to me that way. And micro edge bordered in blue as well. So this is the Dame Darcy. I don't know exactly what edition this is. It's either second edition. I think it's the second edition, but it might be the third. It might be the third. But I know she's come out with several of the same editions. I do use this quite a bit. I like to use it for others, especially. It's also, let me just turn the whole thing upside down here. I really like the waxy feel of the cards. Some of the cards get a little muted, and I think maybe a little bit more quality control before it went out would have been good, so you don't have like 6 editions of, you know. But I think that it's a beautiful deck. It reads really lovely. It's a great theme, and I like working with it. When I work with it for myself, is that better? Yeah. It tends to be a little bit brash and almost too direct, but when I read for others, it seems to have a little bit of a coating on it, but it is not sugar coated by any means. These are definitely some pretty harsh, like straight up mermaids, telling you. Dropping some truth bombs for sure. But I really like the imagery. I like the wateriness of it. I really like the muted colors. I'm glad I have this edition because I don't know that I'd really like the other editions. But it's a very cool deck. And it took me a while to get used to it being bordered in blue, but it works, and it works for me. So I have decided to keep it for sure. And the lady, I purchased this used, and the lady I purchased it from made this awesome box that it goes in, and I'll show you that. She also gave me this cute little crystal shell glass thing to go with it because it needs to go with it. It's got to have a shell type glass thing with it. But this is the box that she made from an old iPhone box. Really cute. And I just got Dark Days Tarot not too long ago. That's better. And this is a really cool deck. It's really beautiful. Look at these little drawings. And I haven't worked with this a lot, mainly because I got that big haul. Oops, sorry. Mainly because I got that big haul. There's the book. Pretty meaty. At the same time, so I've kind of been all over the place. But this deck is really cool because, one, it's square. The cardstock is thin, but it works for shuffling because it's otherwise a little awkward. But I really like it. The majors are all on white stock and the minors are all on the black, and it's intended that this be in sync with the moon cycle, and so it's got an extra layer of information there, but it's also intended to be read upright, reversed, left, and right. So in all four directions. And I find that while I'm just now playing with that information, it's really a cool concept. I really like the idea of it. I like how it just adds more depth, another layer of information to the reading. And so I'm playing with it. This deck is going to take me, I think, a while to really get to know. But I love the drawings. I love the artwork. It's just so beautiful, and the layers that happen with it. And it seems so simple in some of the cards, but I find that if I sit with them for a little bit, it definitely adds more and more information. And the write-ups are pretty decent in the book, but I like when the towers are trees. But it's just it's a cool concept. Again, I haven't worked with it very much. I don't know that I've seen a lot of people working with this deck too much either. So I want to explore it a lot more. This is the image that's on the box. But it's neat. I like it. I've decided to keep it and really spend some time with it. The next one is I'm going to do the Tabula Mundi. This was gifted to me by a series of amazing people in a group. And it just happened to come at a time when I have gotten a lot of other decks and I haven't been able to spend too much time with it either. But I do love it. I think it's gorgeous. It's got this little book with it, beautifully bound. It's got the title card and the number because it's a limited edition. This one is 1,297. And the side, it's got reflective. Gorgeous. These are the backs. They're also holographic. You can't really see very well, but. And then it came with a big book that, well, it was purchased separately, but it was gifted to me, which is amazing. And so this is a Thoth-based deck. It's Thoth-inspired. There's a ton of information in here, a ton of symbolism. I haven't started my Thoth adventure yet because I am, well, just because I find it overwhelming and I'm not quite ready to start that. I am excited still to work with my Marseille decks and my Rider-Waite-Smith decks and to keep pushing with that for a little bit. But I'm so glad that I have this deck because you will see it is absolutely just amazing. There's so much thought that has been put into this deck. And it's one that I pull out right now just looking at and getting to know, but there's a lot of symbolism. There's the esoteric information, the Hebrew letters, there's just so much packed in each card. And they're just so profound. I mean, really. I like this Empress. But again, I haven't read with it yet. Just need more information. But I will. I'm looking forward to it. I think it's absolutely gorgeous. I love the colors. I love the layers and layers and layers of information. I find that decks like this that have layers and layers of information and the symbolism and all the esoteric meaning and all the thought that went into it, it's just so cohesive. I find that my readings get very, very long because I tend to be kind of chatty. And I just keep getting more information and more information from each card. So if you're ever very succinct and you're wanting for more detailed information, try to find a deck that has a lot of imagery, a lot of symbolism. Try this deck. Anyway, So that's the Tabula Mundi. Pretty amazing. And then okay, I'm gonna go into my Marseille style or pip decks. This is the second edition of the Jonasa Jaus, and I love this deck. I keep saying this about all my decks. I need to read with them more, but this one I find it's really interesting. The only thing I don't like about this deck is that the surface, so I like the matte surface, but it seems to scratch pretty easily, and I find that a little annoying, but they're cards, they're meant to be used, in my opinion, but it's a beautiful deck. I love the size of it. It's really kind of tall and skinny. It's thin cardstock, so it's easy to shuffle, but it might be, a little thin. But I love the colors. I love the textures. I love the artwork. She says that this is a Marseille deck. I think it's a variant of that. I mean, it definitely is a pip style deck, and but it doesn't have the patterns of Marseille. It doesn't have, but I still love it. This deck, for me, you guys, it loves to read relationships. It seems to always want to come out for relationship readings. I don't know why, I don't know what it is, but every time it wants to come out for relationship readings, which is really interesting. But I do really enjoy it. So this is the second edition. Again, I'm glad I have the second edition because I love the backs on this one. So very feminine base deck, but I like it. Very beautiful. Pretty amazing. It reads really great too, even though it's not traditional in any way, which is what I like about it. But it reads just so beautifully, especially for relationships for whatever reason. That's Jonasa Jaus. I have the Trionfi Del La Luna, the Italian. It comes with its own oracle deck, which I do have turned the other way. It's kind of separated right now. That's the oracle deck it comes with. So this deck is actually one of the first Marseille, actually, the first Marseille decks that I got, and that was because a friend that I had met on Hi Nugget, you're coming to help, through Facebook, actually had asked for some help with a reading, and I didn't know anything about Marseille or pip decks at the time. Get your tail out of the way. Go. Thank you. And I knew nothing about Marseille decks. I mean, absolutely nothing. And I just gave it a shot. And I realized that by just giving it a shot, and I should realize this and apply it to Thoth decks, but just by reading intuitively and giving it a shot and seeing what comes up, I realized how much I loved it and how much I got out of it, even though I didn't think I could. So it's a great lesson in just why not give it a shot. Love it. So I then got it, and I had kind of intended just to more study with it, but I do read with it. It's not my go-to, but I really like this deck a lot. I think it's beautiful. I like the cardstock. This is the red backs. I like the characters. I like that it's a contemporary twist, but still relates very much to traditional. In some ways, I'm not a huge fan of traditional, but then in other ways, I am. It's really strange. But I really enjoy this deck. So that's the Trionfi Del La Luna. And indie deck. Marshmallow Marseille in a horrible tuck box. I need to put this in a better home. I'll work on it, but I love the size of this. It's kind of more poker card size. Not really poker size, but smaller, maybe bridge. I don't know what size they are, but they're small. And this deck is also pretty new to me. There's the backs. This is the first edition. They are releasing a second edition that should come out, I believe, next month. They're taking pre-orders for it. I do really like it. I recommend it if you're looking for a Marseille deck that has some really pretty bright colors, kind of watery colors, pastel-y, but still, to me, that's bright. I usually go for more muted colors. But it's a great Marseille deck. It's a lot of fun. It reads really well. And it's just beautiful, and it's really cute. And apparently I have everything upside down. I do read reversals. The one thing I like about this deck too is that since I do read reversals, even with Marseille, is that it's pretty easy, even not on cups. Cups are always easy to see in reverse, but even on the swords, because of the way that the numbers are, instead of them being turned this way, it's always easy to see if it's reversed. Also, because the marshmallow on the back. So, it's a neat deck. So if you're looking for one, I do recommend it. It's just, oh, so good. So, so, so good. Some of the proportions crack me up, though. And I wish my camera would capture how beautiful this is. I mean, it really is lovely. And the colors play a big part of the reading. And I like that this has different colors. I'm not a big fan of ones that have those garish colors. So that's all my tarot decks. I do have 2 oracle decks that I'm going to go through. This one is really new to me. I'm not sure if I'm going to keep it just yet or not. I just got it as a gift from Maria from Sacred Heart Tarot. And this one they have text on them. And these are the lunar cycles. So the way that I've kind of been working with this a little bit, they do change on the back. Oh, not much. But it gives the phase influence, the history and the lore, ritual, crystal to pair with it, and a mantra. So it's great for learning, because I don't know the moon cycles and I'd like to learn them a little bit better. And I thought this would be a great way to do it. So, but it's a matter of doing it, I guess. I do like that it has a mantra. This one also has an herb with it. Some of them have color with it. So the balsamic moon has an herb. It says Egyptians are said to have used garlic. Also linked to Hecate. Sorry, I butchered that. To invoke deities during their oath-taking ceremonies, incorporating garlic into their favorite recipe to help open the lines of cosmic communication. Interesting. And it gives a little ritual, so it's a good way to utilize the energy of the moon, not just at the full moon, not just at the new moon, but all the phases of the moon and how that affects and influences us and how we can actually harness it and do some more work with that energy. And that is by Tamed Wild. Yeah. So by Jillian Christina. So I was hoping to bring that more into my daily life, more into my practice of meditation with it, more into manifestation and surrender, and how to use the moon to do that. But I haven't been doing it as much as I would like. The next one I have is the Seeds of Shakti Oracle, and this is the last one. I do have Crow Tarot on order. That's a pre-order, and it's coming out in October, I believe, September, October. I am so excited for that one. It's a Rider-Waite-Smith, but it's all using the crow. So this is Seeds of Shakti. It's got black and white backs. This is the second edition, and this is a fun deck. I really like it. I like that it's, I'm trying to get where, there we go. So that's the Flower of Life. It's got a little saying on it. This one says, secrets of the universe lie within the patterns of life. It's very cool. It's a little bit based on some Indian philosophies and Hindu practices. The lingam is within you lies the divine feminine, masculine. I really like this deck a lot. I supplement, I combine Oracle with Tarot sometimes to give an overview for a reading for a client or for myself. And sometimes I want it at the end just as like, okay, let's do a wrap up. How can we utilize this and put it into action? What's some healing that we need at this time? And so I'll use several different decks, but it's really beautiful. The colors are awesome. I spend some time with thinking about how to apply those messages a little further than just what the simple one line says. She has a PDF book on it, a guidebook with it. It's pretty good too. And this is Sharon, what's her name? Sharon Basanti. She is on Instagram. She has a website, gypsyartevents.com. So check her out. It's pretty cool. And it's anyway, back to the deck. I like to also tend to use this for some chakra work. I believe it even has some chakra cards in there. Yeah, it's got chakra cards. So if I'm doing a chakra reading, or I'm doing some work on my own chakras, I'll pull that card as a signifier and then really work with what needs to be balanced, what needs to be brought in to balance that chakra, what needs to be released, how to work with the energies, calling in, which this has some deities in it, like Shiva, and using that to call in. So if I'm working with Shiva in my own practice and in my own spiritual practice and meditations, I will often pull signifiers for other readings with this deck because it just aligns with my practices. But you can see it's just really, really cool. There's one of the 2 extra cards, and that's one of them. But anyway, so very cool deck. And it's small. It's actually smaller than Marshmallow Marseille. Okay, I think that's all of my indie decks. And thanks for letting me share, and I hope to see all of your indie decks. So this is me tagging everybody because I want to support independent artists and independent publishers and deck creators. So make sure that you're doing that. Spread the word. Let's see your collection. See what's out there. If you're interested in more and how I use these, write a message below and let me know, and we can maybe do another video. So also, if you want to contact me, you can always contact me through my other information, which is appointments at Pamela'sAnimalTales.com, and that's TELLS. So this has been Pamela from Pamela's Tarot Tales. I look forward to seeing your collection. And thanks, Naya, for having a great video, actually 2 videos, and helping me shell all those peas. And enjoy your day. Thanks, guys.